piling it up on the other side of the street there, and then they're going to come with a dump truck to take it away. Pulling stumps. Coming right along, we got the concrete all out. So he was able to take that concrete out and pretty much in slabs, which is really helpful. It's going to save some money in labor. And so he's got it all piled up out here on the other side of the street, and he's just waiting for a truck to come, and then he'll load it in the truck, and they'll take it out to a recycling plant. And at the recycling plant, they will break it all up and turn it into fill for road building. He's just tearing out all these stumps along the side here. We're just going to load up that concrete now and stick it in the back of the truck. In the back. So Josh is just grading that bank now. He's going to work it from the top, and then I think he's going to come around from the bottom along the side there. You can just reach right down in there with that stick. The boom in the bucket. This is really coming together nicely here. Really fine-tune it with that. He couldn't do that with the BOBCAT. There just wasn't room in there for him to turn around and work that slope. Alright folks, so machine work has all been done here in our site grading, and just going to give you a little walk around and show you how we ended up here. So this was a tough job for the guy. This soil, it's very dry. I'll show you when I get to the back how dry it is here, but all these trees and stuff in there, there was a lot of roots, and he kept getting into those roots, which really made it hard to level, because he's constantly snagging on those roots. And then that, combined with the dry soil conditions we have here, and tight quarters, it gets really tight in here for the machines to move. So we've got some handwork to do. I can do that now that he's gone, and I've started here. And so I don't know if you remember that pile of rocks I had up between the two trees there. This is what I decided to do with them. Lay them in along the curb here. So I don't know what we're going to do with landscaping here. We just the object of this exercise was just to get the site graded, so that when we put our skirting back on and build our decks and stuff, that everything's kind of at the proper elevation. So now you can see here, when we put our skirting down, we've got it's nice and level. It was before it was up and humpy and bumpy, and we've got the plastic all in place underneath there again. It's all tucked in underneath the soil here, so everything is good underneath there as far as our plastic goes. Now once the skirting goes on there, that will be all nice. And we didn't snag any of the surfaces, so we were good with that. Here's our water turn off here, and there's our telecom box up there. All of these wires that the water line that came in here, and the telecom wires, we dug into this a little bit. We didn't catch them. Our gas line, everything was good, so this is all cleaned up and tidy here now. And so here on this bank, along the side here, I've done the handwork. All right, so you can see kind of how this is coming together. And cleaned up along the curb here. And we had soil right to the top of the curb. And some of you have been wondering, about you've been concerned about the that bank coming down and water pooling on the site. So this is just basically a big sand pit here, a big gravel and sand pit, and so there's the water doesn't stand around here. It just completely goes into the soil for what little bit of rain we get. Again, we're in a semi-arid desert climate here, so our rainfall is minimal. But the water off the street comes down the street from up there, and the street is it's sloped both ways to the middle. Okay, and then there's a that's actually sanitary sewer cover there, but you can see along the side here how they have the curb, and that curb was put in there, I believe, after there was a bit of a problem here. We do get these little flash rains every once in a while, and there's some evidence underneath there where water has rushed underneath, and I've corrected all of that now. But I have a feeling that that was a problem at the beginning, like 30 some years ago, and then they put this curb in here. So any water that comes down the street now gets directed along this curb here, and it just comes down and it ends up in this dry well here. And again, that dry well, this is just basically a big hole in the ground, and it's filled with rock, and so the water comes down, and this thing will never fill. Like, the soil is so porous and so gravelly here, it just goes, it's just gone, and that prevents the water from carrying on down and then giving those people down there a problem. So all of that water from the top ends up in here. All right, so coming down here, I'll take you down this side first. So you can see here, you know how he's left it. I mean, that was all he could do. So the rest of this is handwork, shovel and a wheelbarrow, and you know, it's not that bad. You know, I did all of this you know, around there in, I don't know, about an hour and a half. I, you know, trimmed this all up around there. So, you know, of course this is going to be a little bit more work here, especially when I get to the back, but you know, it's just time. And so I've done a mock-up of my back porch here. And so what I have here is, I've pretty much decided, I mean, this could change yet, but I'm going to go with 8 foot by 6 foot little porch here. And again, I'm planning to have this covered, and then the steps will come down off the porch down onto this little landing. Now this is just sitting here, I haven't leveled anything, I'm just mocking stuff up here to see how it's going to work. But the foot of the stairs will end up on this block here, and then I'll have a little bit of a sidewalk going out there. I'm just, you know, I'm just using up stuff that was left behind here. But that's going to leave me, you know, I'm not sure how this is exactly gonna end up yet, but I think, you know, this is the back of the blocks here. These blocks are 8 feet from there, and so that's, you know, going to leave me roughly 1.5 feet or so between the wall and the skirting for that little porch. I might end up, you know, pushing that back a little bit further. I think I can. I probably will. Maybe go 8 feet to the face of the block, and then this block here, I've just placed that there. That's where the I'm thinking that the condenser unit for the central air conditioning will sit. And so then we'll have this little area, you know, here for that there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here as far as landscaping and final landscaping, but that's probably going to come next spring. I want to get this done and then start building new stuff, you know, to get ahead of the winter weather that's coming eventually. So I think this is what I'm going to do with this little wall here. Again, I want to use up those you know, those blocks from that Allen block wall that I tore apart. And again, this is just a mock-up to see how things are going to look, but I think I'm going to go with two blocks high and then the capstone on it. And I think I'm going to start it here, and then, you know, here I'll just let the bank kind of slough around it, and then I have enough material that I can go 40 feet. So I'll run this, you know, 40 feet back out that way, and then just kick it off, just curve it, because I have blocks to do the curve as well, just as far as 40 feet takes me. And, you know, that will just kind of hold back the bank, you know, if it does slough a little bit. It probably will. The bank is pretty tight actually, and the guy on the excavator, he didn't want to mess with it too much, because, you know, those roots are kind of holding everything together there. So kind of another reason why I'm going to end up, you know, finishing this by hand, so we don't tear out any, you know, major roots and, you know, have these trees end up falling on us here. Okay, so this is where I have the handwork here. We were starting to run out of material a little bit. You know, we were just trying to use that material that we had on site here, and you know, this is what we ended up with back here. But you know, it looks kind of rough, but it's just because it's just so dry. I mean, I'll show you. I'm gonna step into this pile here. I was just like, you know, it's just really soft. And as soon as he just can't, it's hard to move it because it's so soft. Up there at the front and along here, I've been wetting it down to try and help it to stick together, and as soon as I do that, put a little bit of water on it, it helps quite a bit. But I think you can see how this is going to come together here now. Anyways, that's the plan. Might change. This is my worst area right here. I still have to deal with this thing here. It's pretty steep, but I think, you know, I think I'm going to be able to get enough material out of that, and over here to, you know, to sort of fill that in there. I'll just throw it up in there, and then, you know, once I get this all put together, then I'll just, you know, rake everything down, and it'll just all, you know, just kind of all come together. But yeah, this is Like this is really, really, really dry. I mean, it's sandy. It's like walking in flour, kind of. But yeah, I'm really pleased how this has come together. It's kind of just sort of the way I had imagined. So let's just shovel work now and just just pick away at it. So that's what I'll be doing that next week. Okay, again, you can see like around the whole mobile home now we've got it all. Our elevation has been established there, and so that's ready now for our skirting. You know, it's going to be nice and straight, and that's what you want. You know, if you want to have a nice skirting job, you want to have it so that it's straight, from point to point. You don't want to have it going like this. That looks terrible. All right, and all that concrete is gone. Thank God, that concrete, I was so glad to have that go. The way that went was really easy. That went way better than I thought it was gonna. I thought they were gonna have to break it, but as you saw, they just kind of picked up the slabs with the forklift and just put them in the truck, and away they went. All right, so this is gonna be the main porch, and I think I pretty much decided I'm going to go 16 feet this way. So that's going to bring us basically this little gravel pad here. I took, there was a lot of stone up there. That was another thing, is we, kept running into that gravel. There was gravel on top of landscape cloth, on top of gravel, on top of landscape cloth, and that landscape cloth in between the layers of gravel is just like yeah, it was hard to deal with. Anyway, there's some of it there. Lots of roots there. You can see the roots on the back of the little utility trailer. And then I think I'm going to be coming out 9 feet from here, which is what the old deck was. So basically, the same out with the deck. Shortened it up quite a bit. The old deck was up there, and we're coming to here now. I just didn't think we needed that big a deck. And with the cost of materials and everything, we're just going to scale it down a bit. And so that leaves us with this here now. And so off the center of this, the steps will come down from the deck, and then this is the area where I'm going to be using up those pavers now that the concrete is gone. And so now we'll have pavers here instead of concrete as a as a landing that you'll walk in off of the driveway and then up to the house on those deck stairs. And then it will give us, I'll leave room for some landscaping. And then we've got this ugly old meter shed here, but right here is where, I don't know if you remember, but on the other side of the house, and originally it was 4 quite nice iron trellises. They're 2 feet by 6 feet, I think, maybe 7. And I have those at my shop, and those are going to get installed here. It's metal. It's metal with scrolls and leaves, and all metal black. And so I'm going to be doing that. Those 4 panels in here, framed with wood, which are going to go in here and screen this meter shed from the entranceway. All right, and we managed to get all that concrete out here. We didn't break any edges on our asphalt, which is awesome. Quite often, when you're going back and forth on asphalt, you can, when you drive over it, you can break it. This must be fairly thick. Also, when it's hot, and our heat wave just keeps on here, just doesn't give up. I'm hoping it will give up now here eventually. It's supposed to cool off now over the weekend. And now we have this little area now that we can landscape. Before, remember, this was just concrete here. So now our skirting will come down, and we'll have a nice little area here to landscape. And the landscape is just going to all pull around into this area here. Okay, frequently asked question: how much did all this cost to get this site work done? So he was feared it could take 2 days, which we're talking 16 hours. It went quite well with the moving out that concrete, and so we saved some time there. But where we're at is we ended up with 10 hours for the Bobcat and the hoe combined, and 2 hours of trucking to truck the concrete out of here. So we ended up with about $1,100 for machine charges, machine and trucking, and all that concrete cost me about $600 to get rid of it. So it's $50 a ton, and we're in Canada, so that's a metric ton, which is 2,200 pounds. So there was roughly 12 tons. So yeah, there was a lot of concrete there. It's heavy. So altogether, we with the concrete tipping fees and the machine fees and trucking fees, we're right in at around $1,700. My budget for this little job was $2,000 was what I had budgeted, and so we $300 under budget, but as it goes, we'll end up spending that somewhere else, I'm sure. All right, folks, so probably next week, it's the weekend now, and next week I'll be working on that little retaining wall and getting that bank shaped up. And once I get that done, then I'm going to be on to fixing up a few things underneath, and then getting it leveled up. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.